Hi everybody, this is Animagus. You can call me Annie for short. This video I am going to be talking about how to create a grand staircase. So this might be a long-ish video because it's going to take a lot of tweaking to get this done correctly. I'm all about symmetry from left and right. I would not do a grand staircase in this room because, obviously, because it would cover these doorways up, and I don't want to do that. But it is easiest for me to show y'all how to do it in this room. So here's my idea for the grand staircase. I'm going to create two of them, one on the right and one on the left, and I'm going to curve it as I go up and let this gap here be the footing for where it ends up. Alright, so I'm going to try to get this video done as quick as possible so that I don't waste time. Let's get into it. Going to get into building mode. All I'm going to be using to conserve points are these beam platforms. So I used to make the mistake of using the small platforms, but you can see that the small platforms are 3 points and the beam platforms are 1 point. So here we go. I'm gonna shrink all of my stairs down to 80%. I may end up moving this. I'm guesstimating. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna push it, that first step about halfway down into the floor. So you know what? Nope, let's do it this way. Gonna start it off here and going to curve it as I go up. So I want to look to the left, make sure that I don't have a gap there. Now you can see that I'm trying to leave half of the front of the beam exposed. This is so that when you go down the stairs, you are not like falling down. It's more fluid as you go down and you're not falling. So, gonna keep going. Shrinking all the ones down to 80%. Gonna start beginning a curve. May end up having to move these beams. We shall see. Before I do a curve, going to place it on top. So I'm going to move these steps over to the right. Probably, let's move it over a little bit more. Yeah, alright, so gonna curve it at the bottom. So, gonna straighten this out. Well, not quite ready for that yet. Gonna keep curving just a little. So what I'm gonna do is eventually make Oh snap. There we go. Make the steps perpendicular to the wall. So the next step, I'm going to keep it perpendicular to the wall. So it's going to be easy for just a little bit to create this staircase. So I want it to touch on the right. So to do that easily, I'm just going to move this over from the top, not from the bottom. Yeah, so now I'm just going to go up a ways. Yeah, alright. Going to keep doing this. Right here, it's a lot of the same thing. Here in a minute, I'm going to be curving it from the top. Or at the top, rather. When this is just keep repeating. Sorry to bore you. Trying to get through this as quick as I can. Right, I'm going to delete these and fix that later. I'm going to delete that chandelier as well, just to get it out of the way. Alright, so at this point, I want to start curving it again. And the goal is to make these beams perpendicular to the wall. And what I'm going to do is go on and put my platform where I want it to be. So this is the point where this side is going to connect to that platform. So now I'm going to start curving it. I'm just kind of eyeballing the curve here. Right. Yeah, a lot of people feel really intimidated at the thought of creating staircases, but it's really not as hard as some people think it is. Whoops, forgot to shrink that one down. So up here I've got some gaps there, but from the front you really can't tell. And as you go up the staircase, yeah, you can see that, but oh, I forgot to shrink that one down. So if you don't like having the gap, you can bring them in closer to each other, obviously. But that doesn't bother me too much, but that is a personal preference thing. Man, I'm really having a tough time with perspective. Oh, it's because of that platform. Going to delete it. Alright. Right, so may end up having to tweak this a little bit. So to me, that gap is a little bit too big. So I am going to tuck that one in some more. Kind of concerned here. Let's see if it's going to connect. And if it doesn't, that may happen to you. So I will show you how to solve that issue. I'm going to delete these things up here that are in the way. Alright. So now it's easier because I'm not having to curve anything. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Somehow I managed to have it meet really well. Was kind of doing that blind. So I'm going to have to make this platform a little bit bigger. There we go. So this is how it looks like, or how it looks when you walk in the door. So you can see that right up here it looks really messy. So let me show you what some of the things that you can do to cover that up. Take a beam, put it there. Now it still has a little bit of a messy part there. So I love plants. I love how they look, but I also love that I can use them to cover imperfections up. Now you can't see. So what I'm going to do is now, because I don't like how this looks either from the side. So I'm going to take a beam and I'm going to increase it to 150%. Then I'm going to take it 90 degrees. And then I'm going to cover that up. Now, sweet. Then I'm going to move it a little bit to the left because I feel like it's covering up too much of the steps. Yeah, so I got them covered up. Now, if you really want, you could raise that up, but to me, I like the look of this being down about halfway and then the platform being all the way up. Now, you could take another platform, increase to 150%, 90-degree angle, and then put another one there, just if you're a person that needs symmetry. Then making sure that the tops of the beams are even. Then if you want, You can take some lights. You can put them on top. You could use these if you want. Put them on top. Like that. Just depends on your aesthetic. You know, something cute that you could do is take a murloc and let the little murloc be your guardian for your house to intimidate your foes. Yeah. It's up to you. You might come up with something cooler. It's up to you. So that's how to create that side. Now, to create the staircase to look like a mirror image on this side, it's a little tricky. So, let me show you an easy way of how to do that. So, what you're going to do is take a look at how many degrees that one is turned. So it's 150 degrees. So now what we're going to do is just do this one. We're going to try it at 200 degrees. And then going to take it over here using the grids. It's a little bright. I'm going to remove the chandelier so we can see the grids. Ah, man. Okay. Didn't mean to delete that beam. Why did I do that? Alright. So I'm going to use the beams, or the grid on the floor, to make sure that they start in the same spot, because I want them to be like reverse mirror image, left to right. So now I'm going to move it over here to make sure that it connects to the wall at the point that I want it to. Then do halfway. So I'm going to bring this. You see how many. So I'm looking at it, and it's at the second square corner. So now let's do the same thing here. I'm going to move it to the second square corner. And then we're going to curve it this direction. So now I've got the stairs perpendicular. So I'm going to move this over so that there's not a gap between the step and the wall. Yep. And so it's the same as over here. Now that I've got it straightened out, I'm going to walk up to the top. So now, to make it look really even, if you're like me and you need it to be really even, here is the first perpendicular step. Count how many there are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's how many steps are perpendicular to the wall. And then the curve begins. So over here, here's my first one. I would just create 11 more beams that are perpendicular to the wall, and then begin the curve and go, and then meet up here in the middle. So now let's talk about this issue, this gap. So this creates an issue because when you go upstairs, you might be a little bit clumsy, fall in this corner. So let's talk about how, like, the different things we can do to close up that corner. You can use a column. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk up the stairs. See, I can still fall down there. So you could take beams, enlarge them a little bit, 90 degrees, bring it up here, put it in that gap. Now, then do the same thing, making sure that the width of the beam is the same as the other one. Move it in the gap, making sure that the tops of the beams are the same height. So now, going to see if it's possible for me to fall down, and it is not. So that's how to do that. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that it was enlightening. I hope that you learned, and I hope that you can recreate what I did. Just notice that it's not even up top. So here we go. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're looking for future videos, I've got another video out showing how to do 2 different staircases, and I'm going to be putting out another one to show how to do a spiral staircase. Have a good day.